is so common now, that is hypertension, increase in blood pressure. And there are certain reference values for normal pressure or elevated, yes? And usually there's a point where they say it's borderline. Now borderline, ideally, when your pressure is found to be elevated a little bit, before let me put this way again in quotes. Before I stigmatize you with a disease that you will have to carry for the rest of your life, give you time to be able to see if it can be reversed, if it can be allayed. It could be just maybe you've been eating too much cholesterol, yes? Or maybe you've had a sedentary life, maybe you've gone through a stressful situation, and a few things, guidelines into your nutrition, your lifestyle, helping yourself relax, issues like that can reduce a pressure that is borderline back to normal, so that someone doesn't have to be put on medication for the rest of their life because their pressure was elevated. And on top of that, times, like even when they're doing screening for pressure, we will not label you, let me put that word just to show you that, we will not label you hypertensive on just one reading. Yeah? Because some people, they come and see someone in a white coat, or they come and see someone, or some people tell you, Najua too, I just know when you measure my pressure, it will be high because they are tense. Some people you might tell them, go home, when you're relaxed, you
come back for, the test.
So that's the thing, because right now we have a huge burden of non-communicable diseases. They're at the top of the list now, the largest killers. And there's
in fact, the latest data was by the UN is that 80% of people are dying of non-communicable diseases, and especially in low-income and middle-income countries. This is where Kenya is. You know?
And
so it's good that you mentioned that.
And it's worse for us because we are still battling with communicable diseases, and now we are adding onto it non-communicable. Now the burden of disease plus the burden of the financial repercussions that come with it, that's a whole lot. So there's a lot we can do for non-communicable diseases, a lot that we can do.
A lot.
Yes.
We'll talk about that, Dorcas. Dr. Jimmy, she mentioned about lifestyle, and I was trying to understand, does lifestyle mean it is a disease you're going to live with for the rest of your life, or does lifestyle mean it is caused by the lifestyle that you live in, the things that you do, the things that you eat? Maybe just clarify on that.
In the word lifestyle, there are two things. Life. So are you going to live with it? Life. Lifelong life. And there's a style you've chosen to live. So you choose, me, I want to do this, I want to do this. So talking about high blood pressure, it comes because you've chosen to eat like this. Mainly it's eating. You know, I want to eat like this, I want to eat this thing. And you're told that...
What are these things, you know? What are these specific things that can cause, you know?
Now, just talking about high blood pressure, it's because of the fat that is found inside the blood vessels, and they block the blood vessels, or they thicken them, so that the blood vessels become thinner. So blood pushes in. So that pressure is what we are talking about. The pressure because the blood vessels have become thinner. And it's just because there's plenty of fat or cholesterol in there. And cholesterol comes from animals. It does not come from plants. So if you choose to feed on the fat, you know, people like the fat. So you feed on the fat, your blood vessels become thick, and the blood forces itself in there, you have the pressure. So you're told, hey, choose what you eat. Most people don't like when you tell them choose what you eat. Okay? But it's on the papers every day, it's on TV every day, it's on research every day, it's in universities, it's in schools, we are taught about it. It's only that people fail to enforce what they learn. So if we can choose a style of eating so that we take more plants than animals, or you simply take plants, like the Asians. Most Asians just take plants.
Vegetarian kind of a diet.
Yes. And their pressures are not that high. Okay? So if we can educate people, the reason why we come here is to educate, not to give treatment. We educate the people. So if we can educate the people on the causes and effect, okay, then those who choose this style, they may prevent some of these diseases. Okay? Yeah.
If I could add on to that about these issues, there's a some people sometimes think it's more fad, because some people, especially some superstars and even politicians, are becoming vegetarian. I'll give just two examples. One is the First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
There was a real upsurge in obesity right to young children. A lot of obesity, obviously, because of lifestyle. They're not playing outside. They're not going to the garden because they're living in the city, and they're eating junk. So obesity had really skyrocketed, and with obesity comes also pressure in young children, young teenagers getting stroke because of that. And I think it was for 2 or 3 years straight, she was voted the most influential woman because her move was on helping the children get rid of obesity through nutrition, exercise, water. Those are the things she did. We know about the Go Move campaign that she had, and so many things, including bills and laws that she helped to formulate to help improve the...
In fact, it's called the Michelle Law.
to improve the nutrition in schools. In terms of there has to be vegetable, there has to be fruit, and a larger portion of that than the other aspects. Now, the other one I'd like to comment on is Bill Clinton himself, because you asked about lifestyle and you asked about, is it a lifelong issue? Bill Clinton, and this you can go and check for yourself, he was interviewed by Larry King. And I think at that time, both of them were vegetarian. Now we talked about food anyway. And he had a heart disease. I think he's supposed to go for a bypass. His daughter, when she was getting married, she had gotten into that fad diet, so to speak. She had become a vegetarian. And he, I don't know if it was to practice for the D-Day or whatever it is, but he adopted it.
To get used to the food.
Yes, and that's how he averted his heart surgery. So it is something that can be helped. And I imagine
so
in terms
is it not, is it not right for somebody to be diagnosed for a heart disease, for example, and then they're told this is something that you have to live with, but now you just manage. We give you medications and you manage and you continue with life.
Once you're diagnosed with something, you're told this is your condition. So it's you to choose what to do with your condition. You either want to reverse it or you want to live with it.
So it is possible to reverse such
Very
kind of
possible.
A condition?
Very possible.
How possible?
We can mention several
that's why I
cases.
gave the example of Bill Clinton.
Several cases. The Clinton case is called the Clinton diet. You go online and you check the Clinton diet, you'll find it there. And the reason why he decided to get into that diet and he's really promoting it is because it helped him reverse his heart condition. So it's a choice. You either choose to do it or you live with your life and you take medication throughout your life. So we're not telling people not to take the medication. You choose. That's why we say it's a lifestyle. You choose either to live with that medication and your condition. Maybe one day you may drop. You may get a heart attack if you default in any way. Or you decide to live like this and you reverse it and you become normal like anybody else and you live your life. There's plenty of data to show that. And a study that was done, congressional approval. The Congress decided to set up a committee to look into it, and they did research based on that. And they found that the healthiest people lived around Loma Linda. These were Adventists. They lived around Loma Linda. They were practicing what we're talking about now. And they have the longest living community, the longest living healthy community.
A healthy community, of course, is what we all dream to have.
Yes.
We all dream to live in a society where people live longer. People achieve more, people do things in the society. But it's becoming a challenge with where the world is taking a shift towards, with the things that we eat and the activities that we engage in. She mentioned issues of obesity. Look at what is happening in the modern society. There is no space for kids to play. In fact, there is no time for the children to even go play. School takes, almost the whole day. So I don't know what you can say in terms of, advice as to what we can do to achieve that healthy community.
That's why we come here.
Education is
That's why we come, to educate people. So many people, they need more of education than treatments, than rushing to the hospital to be given medication or some. Going to the hospital is a choice. You can go and you can get the medication. But if you can prevent these things, we are always taught that prevention is better than cure. This is something that everybody knows. In every country, they say this. but few people take the time to prevent it, simply because they're influenced by a style, yes, a style that the other people are in. So if we can educate, then if we can have these people practice, because practice is a personal inventory. You choose to practice, and you make your own effort to practice and to do this. So like Clinton, if you watch that interview, Clinton will tell you that at first he did not even like it. He didn't even know it exists until the daughter came up that I'm getting married. And so my wedding will be purely vacant. And Clinton is like, what are you talking about? So for her, it was a lifestyle. But for the father got into it because
of that one day.
Of that one day.
Affair.
And after a few weeks of taking this, practicing for, for the D-Day, he found himself getting better. The heart condition got better. And when he went to the hospital to check his condition, they found him better. And they told him, whatever you're doing, please continue.
Continue doing it.
And he continued.
Does it mean that for you to live healthy, you just have to be vegan? You have to be a vegetarian to live a healthy diet?
It's healthier. It's
Yes.
just like someone who's just subsisting on junk and someone who's eating wholesome foods, even if it has animal products, that person is healthier than someone who's eating junk. So it's an ideal. It's just like in the education system. Some people who want to reach class 8 and they're finished. There are others who will go for a higher step and go to O levels, okay, from 4. And then others will go for their first degree. Others will go for a second and a third and PhD. So it is giving information so that people make choices based on information that is there. Yeah? Because when someone has an illness that can be averted or can be modified using lifestyle, it is good for them to know that side of the coin. So that because when someone has a disease that can be lifelong, first of all, the mental aspect itself has a huge role in terms of propagating that disease or making it stable. Sometimes you might be sick and you are fine until you're given the diagnosis and it could become even worse. And I've had people who say, I don't want to know, I don't want things like issues like that. So information is important and you know all sides of the coin. And like in diabetes, when in hospital, they are told dietary guidelines. Those who stick to it, you'll find that their sugars will be maintained on even with diet. So it's important for people to know that so that they can make changes, yes, and if you can achieve the most ideal, it's good for you. If not, you can do better than where you are. Yes, just like in the era of, okay, still there, when you have cholera or when you have typhoid, yes, people are getting sick, there's an epidemic. Now, they'll be medicated to help, but information that it is that water source that is causing them will make a big difference.
So there is need for sensitization,
yes,
for people to understand,
yes,
so that even after they've been treated, they can be able to, live longer with that information.
And not only longer, the quality of life, because you can live long and you're on a tube. You can live 15 years, you can live. People like in the developed countries, people are in nursing homes and they can stay even 15 years, but someone is on a bed and is being ventilated by artificial means. So it's not only the length, yeah, I can say the quantity, but also the quality.
The quality of life.
And it's not only eating plants. We are not here just to talk about eating plants.
Exercise,
there's so many other things
water
that we can talk about in this prevention or in these natural remedies. We have so many other diseases like yeast infection. That's a boom. In fact, I would love to talk about yeast infection than anything else. Because it's so common, and people find it, people have it, and people are wondering, what do I do? They go to the hospitals, they come back, they go to the hospitals regularly, they come back, and it's just food. It's just food. It's eating the yeast. And then you have infection. You call it yeast infection. I'm infected by yeast. Why? Because you eat it. In school, we are taught that yeast is a single-cell living organism, and it's a pathogen.
A decomposer.
Okay, it's a decomposer. And we take it, we get decomposed. We go to the hospital, they give us medication, we come back, we put it in. It only needs information. There's somebody comes, yes, make somebody understand that don't take it. Because if you take it, you'll be labeled yeast infection. It's that simple.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me take you back to the issue of lifestyle again. How long does it take for the symptoms to become dire? Because now you've been eating unhealthy for very many years, I assume. And then it gets to a point, maybe you just drop because of a heart attack, or you just get high blood pressure. Like, how long does it take for such kind of symptoms to become very, very serious in somebody's life?
They may become overt, or they may never. Again, let me go back to hypertension. If it's hypertension, a lot of times it's called the silent killer. Your first symptom might be post-mortem. Your first symptom might be death. That's why it's good to check for yourself. And a lot of times, by the time you're getting symptoms, that blood vessel has been occluded, has been blocked. Even
I don't know if they
even 60.
I don't know if they got what you say. You say something.
I got it, and I want to clarify.
Yes.
The first symptom can be death. Like, you never feel anything.
Yes.
Then one day you just die.
Yes.
Called the silent killer. You just find yourself dead.
Okay.
So yes, and a lot of, but as I was saying earlier, like in hypertension, I guess we've been focusing on hypertension a lot. The blood vessel can be occluded even up to, or blocked, maybe even 60, 70, 80%, and still you're not feeling the symptoms. Yeah, someone can be physically fit, can be running, because you've seen even some people, sometimes athletes, someone drops and has a heart attack, but the artery was occluded because the thing is, the fat is blocking, or is accumulating in the artery. So, not to wait for symptoms, because not many people say, until I get sick.
That's when I'll go for.
Yes, and blood pressure is something that is so easy to check. Nowadays, you even have the digital meters you can check for yourself. It's something for you to take care of yourself. That's, I think, the most important thing we want to put across. Because the way you take care of your car, the way you take care of your house, you remodel, you want to paint it, you should have more priority for this body, because this one I have spare parts, and it's up to you. When you're sick, you're the one who's feeling it. When you're going to the doctor, you're telling him or her what you're feeling, but it's you who feels it. When there's a change, it's you who feels it first. Yeah, even like women are told when they have for breast cancer check, you check yourself. You might feel a lump more faster than the doctor if you've been checking all the time. It is you who feels. So people to take more responsibility for their bodies, it will help a lot in prevention. And that will really reduce the cost, because with illnesses like hypertension and diabetes, if you look at the fiscal implications, even for the government, for productivity at the workplace.
And for the economy, and for the people, and for the families.
Yes.
Because sometimes you find somebody who is suffering from that kind of a disease, they are not able to go to work or fend for themselves. So it's actually, they become dependent on other people.
And they buy a lot of medicine.
Yes, and the worst part is it's afflicting more and more of the younger age group, to a point whereby even teenagers will start getting it. So that's a bad way to start. Yes.
Prevention is what you are advocating for. Yes. That's important. And I would want to bring in Jimmy. When we talk about healthy living, because that is one way of preventing. You know, we have to live healthy to prevent having those diseases. Healthy living, what does it mean?
It's free of stress. Healthy living. Free
Can you
stress.
really avoid stress?
No, free of stress.
Is it really possible to live without stress
Free
today?
of stress to mean, like if you have high blood pressure, what a stress is it on you? High blood pressure, you can avoid this, okay? You can avoid this. Diabetes, you can cut it out. You can cut this out, cut that out, you know, keep cutting them out so that the stress that you have is very minimal, like maybe you don't have money. Okay,
that's sort of minimal stress.
that you can say. No, what I mean is, you know, if you don't have money, you want medication for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for heart disease, for name it. That's pressure on pressure on pressure.
So you
on
reduce
pressure.
these
You reduce them, and you feel, you know, if somebody has all these things loaded up on one in one brain. You can see, when you're talking to this person, you can see that this person is actually, the mind is actually not here. That's why we say, if you're healthy, health is wealth. Okay, health is wealth. And actually, I may pull in, because I know there's so many people watching who are Christians. In the Bible talks about, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest be
prosper and be in health.
You might prosper in health, as thy soul prospereth in soul also. Your soul prospereth. So your soul prospereth, and meaning your spirituality prospereth, and your health also prospereth. So the two, you have to put them together. So if you're spiritual, you have to also be healthy physical. Because Jesus, what Jesus did, Jesus took care of our ailments, okay, our diseases, and he treated all these diseases, healed all manner of diseases, and then he bade them follow me. So you cannot be, even if you're a spiritual leader, you cannot go to church and you're preaching to these people and this person is feeling so bad. And you continue saying, Jesus loves you, and Jesus loves you.
And you can also not teach and you're also sick. So you talked about stress, Avoid stress.
Yes.
And do what else?
Now, besides that, you have to also see how you can help others besides you. You can also see how you can help others. By helping others, you feel good, okay? By helping others, you feel good. It's not just preventing, but also treating. Talking about this hypertension or talking about this high blood pressure, what you can do, let me go to what you can do. This is now a remedy. What you can do to do this. 2 cloves of garlic and 1 onion. If you take 2 cloves of garlic and 1 onion, just whenever you feel like, it's either morning or evening or whichever time. Any time is appropriate. 2 cloves of garlic and 1 onion, you blend it in a glass of water and you drink it. It may be nasty.
But it's good.
This is daily? You're supposed to take?
No, I'm just talking about the first time that you feel like you have pressure, or you check yourself and you have pressure. 2 cloves of garlic and 1 onion, you blend it in a glass of water and you drink. That will cut down the increase by 1/3. The increase. If you're in danger, that will put you out of danger. Okay? And then you do another thing that we call hot foot bath. Hot water in a bucket, as hot as you can tolerate. You don't burn yourself. As hot as you can. It's therapeutic. So you put your hand in there to test. If your hand can stay in the bucket for up to a minute, then your feet can stay in there for 30 minutes. You put your feet in there and you wrap yourself with a blanket all the way to neck, okay? And you put a cold towel here to keep your head cool. Your pressure will again drop down by 1/3.
These are home remedies. Home remedies.
Yes.
So somebody who is having high blood pressure,
yes,
they can reduce the pressure by
1/3 and another third. Then you're left with 1/3. This other third is the lifestyle.
Yes.
This is your lifestyle.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you
this is tried and tested. It's been proven to work.
That's why we come to KBC. That's why we're here. The people who brought us here, they know. They've passed through it. They've seen it. We've been on so many TVs in the world. In the US, we've been on so many TVs. In Europe, we've been so many TVs. In Asia, so many TVs. People have proven this, it works.
Okay.
Even those who are watching now, they can try this where they are.
Yes.
If you have high blood pressure, wherever you are, try it. And you'll call us before, and you'll tell us that your pressure has gone down. Either by drinking garlic and onion, okay, or by hot foot bath. We call it hot foot bath. It's a water remedy, using water. The same water you have, the one you use for bathing, okay? You boil it, and you mix with you cool it down a little, just to lower the temperature so that you don't get burned. And you test it, and you put your feet there for about 30 minutes. You will tell me your pressure will go down by 1/3. Check before and check after.
So how about obesity? Because that's also another issue that is categorized under the lifestyle diseases. Dorcas, for you, what are these home remedies that somebody can use to, manage obesity?
For obesity, like pressure, you're saying, you can use water because it melts the fat inside. For obesity, it's effort, because we have to work on why someone obese. That's what we put in. Generally, it's what we eat, or it can be, and then on top of that, plus a sedentary lifestyle. So for obesity, it's planning first what you put inside, and then planning how you do it. And this is how I want to explain. A lot of people, because of our high-paced life, we can skip breakfast or skimp on it, yes? And then lunch, you take something small, and then in the evening, you can eat a horse because you are so hungry and you have worked the whole day. And then after that, immediately you eat like this, you go and sleep. Now, what is that food going to do? Yeah, because you're going to rest.
You're inactive,
at
that time. Okay.
So it'll be put into package. It'll be packaged. So one easiest way of just reducing the weight, and it can reduce even more weight than when you're jogging or doing stuff like that, is eat like a king in the morning. Eat heavy in the morning, because whatever you eat, even if you gorge food, I'm not saying you gorge food, but even if you eat a lot of food, you're going to burn it. You're going to use it. And you know, that's why the morning meal is called a breakfast. Yeah, it's like when people having fast, like even our brothers, they have Ramadan. When they're breaking the fast, they eat because you're breaking a fast. So if you do it in the morning, then whatever you eat, you will burn it because you'll be up and about, you'll be thinking, you'll be doing stuff. And then again, if you eat well in the morning, then you'll have less urge to snack. Because snacking is another big cause of obesity, because you snack here, and a lot of things you snack are not healthy. So it'll reduce your desire to snack, and then you'll be able to stay a little bit longer. You might even find that you go even up to 3 without feeling hungry. So then you can eat another heavy meal, yeah, and you're more relaxed because the day is coming to a close. And then in the evening, you won't be really hungry. Yeah, so that by itself, just changing our way of how we eat, that will help a lot. Of course, when you put in more vegetables, you can chew and chew vegetables and you won't put in much, especially if it's not, you know, a lot of times you put our vegetables, then we add more fat into it. But if it's just plain vegetables, you make a salad. Kachumbari, people like kachumbari. And you can make kachumbari and eat that, because things like garlic, onion, they help to burn fat. So that will help a lot to reduce. So obesity is something, you put your effort into it. And of course, the other is exercise. Okay. When you're feeling hungry, sometimes you'd rather even drink water. Try and drink more water, because sometimes you might think you're hungry, but you're actually thirsty. So that helps to reduce the urges to snack a lot. To eat. Yes.
So you actually time how you eat more in the morning.
Yes.
And reduce as you go through with your day.
Yes.
You eat heavy in the morning.
Yeah.
Eat
like a king.
Eat like a king in the evening, and in the evening eat like a pauper.
Yes. So, you know, when we talk about that also, there's something that comes with when we're preparing our meals, we tend to use a lot of spices. Spices that are, you know, just add this, add that, add this. Maybe Daktari just talk to us a bit about spices and natural spices and the artificial spices, just to know a bit about that.
There are spices that are good if they're used in moderation. You know, everything that is good, we have to use in moderation. As much as we say the things that are not good for us, we avoid, okay? But the things that are good, we also use them in moderation. There are spices that are irritant. If they're irritating, if they irritate the body, we are not supposed to use them frequently. We use them therapeutically, meaning we use them only when we want to do some treatment, or we want to shake something in the body, or we want to, you know, kick out a pathogen. We can use them. But we can't just use them every day, because they irritate. They also cause other troubles in the body. So food, like if you're doing food or if you're preparing food, the simple things like onions and cabbage and onions and tomatoes and carrots and garlic.
She's the one who knows. I can see she's having trouble, you know, mentioning the spices.
She's supposed to be talking about this, but I can tell you that the foods that are prepared simply and are prepared well taste better than the foods that you add this, you add that, you add that, you add that. You know, they also tax the system in digestion. So if you add this and you add that, you add this, you add that, your digestive system is overtaxed. But if you have simple food, digestion takes place very well. And if you will know if you want to know that your digestion was okay, when you release it, it's okay. In fact, that's the test. When you go to the restroom, it's okay, you don't strain. Yeah, you don't strain and it doesn't burn. Then you know that it was okay. But if you put a lot of spices, the more spices you put, the trouble you will have when you go out.
And maybe I can add that about the spices, as I said, the natural ones are obviously better. And you can think in terms of, especially for someone who's sick, we're talking about natural remedies, the kitchen can become a mini treatment place. You can have a therapeutic diet, such that someone who has, like something like turmeric.
Actually,
turmeric
not can, is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, actually, the father
It's
of
the
medicine
source of-
says,
yes.
let food be a medicine. So, like inflammation, people have many inflammatory problems, arthritis, all itises, yes, and things like turmeric are natural anti-inflammatories. Something like garlic is a natural anti-inflammatory, so it helps to relieve pain, helps to reduce. So those are the things that you can be added. Someone is having a cold, this cold season, there's rain. Obviously, people know about tangawizi. It's even sold. Here we have lots of, ginger. You can put them in. Again, garlic. Garlic is all important. And then I want to just focus on those who can go and check the American Cancer Association. In its website, it lists the anti-cancer foods, because cancer is another big, huge disease right now. And the top 5, there are things in your kitchen: tomato, cabbage, onion, garlic, things in your kitchen.
Turmeric.
Yes, turmeric, things that are in your kitchen that people just knew. Then there are more exotic ones, or rather, there are the others that people don't normally use. The common person doesn't use things like broccoli, cauliflower. But there are things you can find in the market. It can go a long way to help when someone is suffering from cancer, whether they're undergoing other treatments or not. It'll help a lot. Yeah, they can be juiced, yeah, for someone who cannot eat, or they can be made as part of their meal, especially if they are salads, so that we get more of their components before they are killed in the fire. So it's important to know that.
Thank you so much, Dorcas, for that. And thank you, Jimmy, for joining us this morning and talking to us about healthy living. And we really appreciate, of course, this conversation continues, of course, and it continues with you also taking a choice to live a healthy life. Health by choice, not by might. My name is Safin Achieng Ouma. Keep it good morning, Kenya. Of course, there is more coming your way.